The seas are raging as one of the most pivotal battles in history is about to unfold, the Battle of Lepanto. But before we can discuss what caused these two massive empires to clash, we must first talk about Cyprus, the reason they are fighting in the first place. Under Venetian rule since 1489, Cyprus was one of the Venetians' most prized possessions. Its strategic location had a dominant advantage over Levantine trade, spanning from the Middle East to Southeast Europe. Additionally, Cyprus was known for producing a substantial amount of sugar and cotton, as well as having a reputation for wine. Selim II, who was the ruler at the time, saw an opportunity for lucrative gains, but he also saw it as a majority military asset to strengthen their influence in the Mediterranean. Selim II rose to power in the Ottoman Empire in 1566. A large man with a love for the arts and poetry, he was nicknamed Selim the Drunkard due to his love for wine, specifically wines from Cyprus. In 1567, the Ottoman Empire, influenced by Selim's ambitions and Cyprus's economic value, decided to break the treaty and prepare for war to reclaim Cyprus, which had previously been under Muslim rule. Adding to their momentum, the Ottomans had recently just defeated the Habsburgs in Hungary, a war that would last about 40 years, spanning from 1526 to 1568. Filled with confidence, they would now prepare their fleet and turn their full attention to that little island floating out in the Mediterranean Sea. They were not discreet in their decision to attack the island, and once Cyprus heard the news, they got to work as well. With the help of Crete, Corfu, and other Venetians, their defenses were vastly upgraded. Military factories and gunpowder mills were constructed on the island. Yet, despite it being under the rule of the Venetians, it was still so far from Venice. They would have to do their best to prepare for war, with lots of reinforcements and money sent over. In March of 1570, an envoy from the Ottoman Empire was sent over to give the Christians an ultimatum.
If you do not surrender, we will take Cyprus by force.
What?
I said, if you do not surrender, we will be taking Cyprus by force.
You're about to greet a horse?
You really think that's what I said?
You're gonna eat breakfast in bed?
These guys are idiots. This is your last chance.
Quick, what rhymes with that? Say something about stylish pants.
And please don't pretend you heard something about my pants.
Quick, think of something else. And yet, even with the additional support from neighboring Christian empires, they will soon encounter an unforeseen challenge. In June of 1570, the newly reinforced fleet of the Ottoman Empire would set sail for Cyprus. Their forces included around 350 to 400 ships, with 60 to 100,000 men on board. When they arrived only a few days later, they would land in the southern part of Cyprus and begin marching towards the capital, Nicosia. The Venetians decided that they would not engage the Ottomans, choosing instead to retreat until further reinforcements arrived. The Ottomans marched towards Nicosia, where the Venetians were waiting. For defense, the city's walls had been reinforced so that it was now a fort. This fort took the shape of a star and was called the Tre Italien, or Bastion Fort. It was able to withstand the Ottoman bombardment quite well. The Ottoman Empire seemed to know what they were doing, though. They dug trenches at the fort's wall, eventually bringing them down after 45 days. After breaching the wall, just about everyone in the city was slaughtered, even the animals. Once the Venetians heard that the city's capital had been breached, a Christian fleet of 200 ships, combined with Venetian, Papal, and Spanish ships, set sail for Cyprus. And after hearing what happened at the capital, the fortress of Kyrenia in North Cyprus would surrender without resistance. The last Venetian stronghold left was Famagusta. Once they arrived, the Ottomans began again to dig a network of trenches to hopefully bring down the wall. However, because Famagusta was built on a large piece of land surrounded by water, the Ottoman fleet couldn't completely isolate the city, allowing Famagusta to resupply with weapons. The Ottomans would eventually capture the city, but at the cost of 50,000 of their men. It was pretty nice of them, seeing what happened in Nicosia. While the Ottoman army continued to take Cyprus, the Venetian Empire desperately searched for allies. The Holy Roman Emperor really needed some friends. First, he called up his buddies in Spain.
Hey, is this Philip of Spain II?
No, this is his secretary. Can I ask who's calling?
Yes, this is the Holy Roman Emperor. Could you please put me through?
He's very busy right now. Is this urgent?
Yes, Cyprus is under siege.
I understand. He's just in a meeting right now, but I'll see what I can do.
What? Put me through right n- Did she just put me on hold?
Philip was reluctant to join the battle at first. He really wanted to focus his attention on the coastal regions of North Africa at the time. However, with a little swaying from Pope Pius V, they'd eventually get him on board. After that, the Emperor and Pope Pius V would make a few calls to some of their other Christian allies. We really could use the help of the English Empire. We won't be able to do it without the Republic of Genoa. We really could use some help from the Knights of Malta. Tuscany has always been a good friend to the church. Hey, Emmanuel, it's the Holy Roman Emperor. If Savoy could just send over, I don't know, a few galleys, that'd be great. Ottavio, we need all the help Urbino can send. And just like that, the Holy League was completed. This brings us to the Great Battle of Lepanto. This battle took an unexpected turn, catching the Ottomans off guard with a bombshell they never anticipated, and leaving the Venetians with a disappointing outcome they had hoped to avoid. It was recorded that between 70 to 90% of ships in the Mediterranean had set sail for the battle over Cyprus. By the time the Holy League had been established, the fleet and army between the Ottomans and the Christians were almost even. The Ottomans had 278 ships with around 30,000 soldiers, while the Christians had about 212 more sturdy ships with around 30,000 soldiers. While the Ottoman Empire relied on their agility and the experience of their skilled archers, the Holy League had a secret weapon of their own. Not only did they have twice as many cannons, but they also had galleasses. These massive, heavily armed ships were a new breed of warship, equipped with multiple decks and an arsenal of cannons capable of firing in all directions. They were basically floating fortresses. On top of this, the Holy League's strategic yet simple formation played a crucial role in the outcome of the battle. They positioned their fleet in 3 rows with a straight line, with 6 galleasses in the front, followed by the main fleet and additional ships held in reserve behind them, ready to provide support where needed. This formation allowed them to maximize their cannon fire while protecting their flanks. Don John of Austria led the middle line for the Holy League. He was chosen to lead for his ability to unite the diverse Christian armies while maintaining strict discipline and coordination. His coordinated placement of the galleasses and timely orders ensured that the Holy League could fully leverage their naval advantages, something that Ali Pasha, the leader of the Ottoman fleet, did not expect. You see, Ali Pasha positioned the Ottoman fleet in a crescent formation with the center pushed forward. This central force was intended to engage the enemy's main line directly, while the ships extended outward from the center were designed to encircle and outflank the enemy fleet, as well as a reserve of ships behind the enemy fleet ready to exploit any breakthroughs or reinforce where needed.
Captain, what should we do? What should we do? What should we do? Give them everything we've got!
Despite the Ottomans' advantage of long-range weaponry, much of the battle was fought in close quarters once the ships were close enough to board. The decks turned into battlegrounds where soldiers fought with swords, pikes, and firearms. The elite Ottoman warriors fought bravely, but the strategic advantages of the Holy League made them appear unconquerable. After all that time, all that preparation, and all that killing in Cyprus, the battle itself lasted only 4 hours. The losses to the Ottoman fleet were crippling, with so many officers, sailors, and skilled marines lost. This 4-hour battle signaled the end of the Ottoman naval dominance in the Mediterranean. But despite the destruction of so many of their ships, the Ottomans kept hold of Cyprus, and as a result, in 1573, a peace treaty would be signed between Venetians and the Ottomans, allowing Cyprus to become an Ottoman province in order to prevent further war. Peace would continue between these states until 1645, when a war would break out over Crete, with the Ottoman Empire winning again. Cyprus would remain with the Ottomans until 1878 before being taken by the British. And after more than 600 years, the Ottoman Empire would eventually be dissolved in 1922 following World War I. I hope you learned something today. I learned just how uncomfortable 16th century armor is.